Hello and welcome to the Pinnacle Financial Scribble series. I'm your journey's host and financial disruptor, Adrian Harasymiw, wealth builder at Pinnacle Financial. We return to the whiteboard today to scribble our way through to a better understanding of two basic types of companies, private companies versus public companies. There are many misunderstandings about the differences, which has easily confused many novice and inexperienced investors building their wealth. And as with all these scribble sessions, this is only a quick scratch of the surface to help you get a 101 overview of the concept. I'll start with the more recognizable of the two, public companies. Think Microsoft or Coca-Cola or Amazon. These are but only three of what seems to be an endless supply of public companies. They're also known as publicly traded companies, which should help in making the distinction between the two types. A public company is established as such once it makes an initial public offering, or IPO, to the general public. In so doing, the company is able to tap into money held by the public through stocks or bonds to help finance further business expansion and projects. Now, once a company becomes public through a listing of its securities on public exchanges, it is also required to regularly disclose and report its financial and business information to the public. Now, in an ideal world, such information helps investors decide if they wish to invest in the company. But as many cases in the past illustrate, these disclosures are not bulletproof and can still result in massive losses to the general public. Think Enron or WorldCom. Bottom line, when you're investing in stocks for your investment portfolio as a retail investor, you are buying shares in a public company. Before becoming a public company, all companies are first privately held. As such, they're called private companies. In most cases, it's the founders, management, or a group of private investors who own all of the shares of the company. While you might be tempted to think only small companies are private, this assumption would be inaccurate. You know of many big companies that are, in fact, private. For example, Mars Company, and yes, that's the one that sells candy bars, as well as Staples, are examples of current private companies. So unlike a public company, a private company cannot raise money for growth in operations by selling securities to the general public. They can, however, try to find big investors to buy chunks of ownership stakes in the company. For example, if you watch Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, these are usually very small private companies seeking private investment dollars from private investors such as Mark Cuban or Kevin O'Leary. Also, private companies are not required to make regular disclosures and reports to the public. As such, they can keep their financial information out of the public eye and hence, private. That does it for this very brief take on private versus public companies, and should be sufficient to give you a foundational grasp of the concept. Be sure to lay an easy to follow breadcrumb trail back to these financial scribbles by subscribing to this channel. And for those looking for a way to keep your very own notes of these scribble sessions tidy and in one central place, stop over at www.mypinnaclelife.com, where joining the Pinnacle Chronicles weekly email list will land you one of these handy My Pinnacle Life notebooks in your mailbox. And now it's time to get your skin in the wealth game and on your way to the pinnacle.